Is Damien Evans. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, President Uhuru Kenyatta has extended the term of the steering committee on the implementation of the Building Bridges initiative. The mandate of the BBI task force was gazetted in a gazette notice issued today. The 14-member team is expected to oversee the implementation of the BBI report. The committee will be required to conduct a validation of the BBI report through consultations with citizens, civil society and faith-based organizations, as well as the private sector, cultural leaders and experts. However, at the same time, activist Okiya Omtata has filed a petition in court seeking to stop President Kenyatta's extension of the BBI team's mandate. And we'll be bringing you that report shortly on what just that will mean. Now, the Building Bridges Initiative BBI task force now has until June 2020 to propose necessary administrative and constitutional changes to actualize the BBI report. So what does this fresh gazettement of the BBI team mean to calls for a June 2020 referendum? And is it viable for Kenyans to head to a constitutional referendum in 6 months' time? KTN's political affairs reporter Murimi Mwangi explains.
Anxiety, squabbles and brutal pre-2022 campaigns have been the order of the day in the Kenyan political scene since the launch of the now famous Building Bridges Initiative report on the 27th of November. The drama culminating in the recent demands by the opposition for a constitutional referendum by June this year at the very latest.
By the time we go to the referendum, it will be more of a consensus. And the better. It should not be more of a contest. It should be more of a consensus that this is what you have agreed.
But is a June referendum really viable using the BBI route? Head of Public Service Joseph Kinyua says the committee should submit a comprehensive advice document to the government on the BBI by the 30th of June this year. The advice, Kinyua says, may include recommendations for administrative, statutory, policy, as well as constitutional changes to implement the BBI report. Although the renewed mandate gives the BBI team leeway to form technical working groups, the likely legal weight of the final report could prove to be insufficient. This going by recent reactions to the initial draft, including opposition's demands for an executive prime minister. Analysts argue it could force the president's handlers to set up another technical team to harmonize recommendations from the BBI task force for the final bill.
It is impossible to do a referendum in June. It is impossible. Launch it yourself. The timeline given for you to collect signatures, you need about 2 to 3 months. Unless you want to go and get signatures from the Huduma number.
We don't need to jump the gun. Now we are in public discourse. We are in Kisii, we are going to Kakamega. After that, we are going to Mombasa, we are going to Meru, we are going to Embu, Garissa. We are going to different parts of the country, Nakuru, Eldoret. After that is when we can discuss when the referendum is. Let's engage the people first.
And while political debates on this matter have largely been premised on there being no budgeted funds for a referendum in the 2019-2020 financial year, several other legal questions dog the demand by the opposition. For starters, a referendum bill with specific provisions on the procedures for conduct of referenda and mechanisms for redress is still before the National Assembly Constitutional Implementation and Oversight Committee. A bill on reconstitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC, the agency to oversee any referendum, is still before the Senate Legal Committee.
Referendum can happen anytime, depending on the goodwill from one person called the President of the Republic of Kenya, that is Uhuru Kenyatta. Is he willing to bring a supplementary budget in Parliament? We allocate resources for the BBI. If he's willing, he has the numbers in Parliament. Jubilee have the numbers. Jubilee combined with ODM, they can raise numbers to pass a supplementary bill.
You don't see some element of urgency into the work of the task force, which ideally will be the one to give forth a document which can have public participation. We can have a public participation on the report. A public participation contemplated in the Constitution can only be on a bill.
Another 6 months for the BBI task force, but with the usual government bureaucracy and the clamor for swift sweeping constitutional changes, the next 6 months present an interesting time for the team as the BBI task force gets back to work. Murumi Mwangi, KTN News in Nairobi.